We're here on Long Island, and East Meadow School District is here on Long Island, and their assistant superintendent was attending some get-together of educators. What'd you say, Jay? Ed camp.
Ed camp.
And Project Veritas either was onto this Ed camp or onto this guy or onto what was going on. They had somebody undercover there. And here's how it went down. If you have high school students on Long Island and you're watching this show, well, you've probably heard this by now, but if you haven't, and I know some people who I actually brought it to who didn't know about it, who are close to that school district, pay attention here. Roll that, G.
A Project Veritas journalist met David Casamento, an assistant superintendent for the East Meadow School District on Long Island, New York, at an educator seminar hosted by EdCamp LI. The EdCamp Foundation operates across the country to, quote, strengthen and enhance teacher-driven professional development and shape the future of learning and advance equitable education systems. The EdCamp Foundation has a commitment grant of over $2 million from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation.
Ah, what a surprise.
Project Veritas met with Dr. Casamento as well as numerous educators and presenters from EdCamp to gain a better understanding of what is being taught in schools across Long Island and the United States as a whole as part of EdCamp.
4 years in this, politics is basically my job.
Really?
I am political in every conversation I have. I never thought I'd be at this point in my life.
Yeah.
I am. And it is what it is. And if you can do the game, you can do the good work. There's degrees of this. And if you get smacked out of the game, what good are you? DEI work, tenure is absolutely essential. There are things that you're more comfortable saying, knowing that you could get pushback on, but you're not going to lose your job.
Right. Where
it was if you don't have tenure, they could be this guy's troublemaker.
Right. And where does that pushback come from?
Parents. It's their conservative values. They honestly believe systemic racism does not exist. They don't understand why we have to talk about LGBTQ issues or have books that have LGBTQ themes in them.
Where I see the civilization of the United States going, it's worrying on many levels to me. I actually thought of running a session, but then there's this political side that someone could be recording inside the room. And politically, that could be suicide.
Where people don't give up power, you have to take power away.
Yeah, so how do you take power away from the conservatives?
Chip away. You stop their ends. You stop hiring those types of people, which is, you kind of got to be coy about that.
Yeah, how do you do that?
Because, here's the way they answer a question. If they talk about kids and I'm not great light, you're like, no, you can't come here.
Yeah.
We want people who love our kids, who want to be more than just the classroom teacher. That's what we want.
Well, so do you encourage your teachers to write like a curriculum advanced in diversity, equity, inclusion work, like under that, I don't know, this anti-racist work? Like, do you encourage the anti-racist work to be put into their curriculum? Covertly.
Every district is doing this covertly.
Every district is
except
doing
for the
covertly?
Black population.
In Long Island?
Yeah.
Really? Every district is covertly.
I asked this question. I asked the question at an assistant super meeting, and they all were like, you could see like how afraid they are.
What was the question?
I said, how are you rolling out the culturally responsive sustaining framework? And they're like, the answers were very carefully, or we do it quietly. It's because it could end the work. It gets out that we're doing it, because that's how loud some of these people are.
The conservatives are the loud ones.
Yep.
So you and the assistant superintendents in Long Island have
in Nassau County, yeah.
in Nassau County you have a group of assistant superintendents that you are subtly able to, push your progressive.
We share with each other.
So you hire teachers directly.
I am on the side of the teacher hiring process, but we created a whole rubric for the hiring.
Okay.
In the light of DEI.
Wow.
That's the question that we would ask.
That's amazing. So you have a rubric essentially that is able to weed out the conservatives?
I don't know how good it is, but we tried.
You tried? Well, how effective do you think it is at?
We've only had 1 year of it, so I don't know. It's too new for me to answer that question. I hire administrators.
You hire administrators. So, how do you make sure that you're not hiring, conservative administrators?
So what ends up happening in education is that you usually don't get conservative administrators. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Because they believe, to be an administrator, you have to believe in all kids. You have to believe in that. It just doesn't happen. They don't. If they're doing it, they're doing it for the money, and they're going to figure that out right away.
All right, Jay, let's hold it right there. Paul, I'll come to you first. Nassau County, a county that you're very familiar with.
Yep.
Yeah.
East Meadow, school district you're very familiar with. This is the number 2 in charge at East Meadow, not the superintendent, the next guy down.
Yeah, and the superintendents, by the way, on Long Island make like $450,000 a year. They make astronomical, ridiculous numbers, and they're usually incompetent. For me, if you have to do something in secret, it's because you're doing something wrong. If you have to whisper and you have to, use covert means, it's because you're doing something wrong. And the simple notion that conservatives don't care is so absurd at every level. Conservatism and individualism simply care about the individual and not groups. And you hurt one, you hurt all. This notion where everyone's got to be boxed into their groups and groups need rights is the exact problem. And when everyone becomes a victim and their group is, whole by group is LGBTQ, oh, well, then you're 9% victim. Oh, my group is Hispanic. Oh, you're 13% victim. I'm very worried about you. Oh, you're non-binary, trans, pansexual, furry. Oh, my God, you're 73% victim. We must suit you. This hierarchy of victimhood is antithetical of everything about individual growth. It's antithetical to every single thing that comes with, self-awareness and striving for more. This is beyond frustrating. I sure would love to have a debate with this guy. I would love nothing more than a conversation with him online, direct one-on-one, unedited, and let's just talk this out because his notions, his philosophies are sick in the head.
Yeah. Well, I'll just go to the end of the story, at least the update as of today. He may have some time to have that discussion with you because East Meadow School District announced today Assistant Superintendent Dave Casamento has just been administratively reassigned.
Goodbye.
And will not be in any district buildings, according to the East Meadow Board President, Alicia Baruch. The district will be conducting a thorough investigation. And cut 7G, here's a little bit of what happened. I don't know how long ago this was, probably months ago. But as this story broke, the next night after that video came out at the school board meeting looked a little bit like this, cut 7.
He leads off. My sexual identity was always part of my work because I believe in making connections with kids. Now, what is that all about?
These are your schools!
Superintendent Card,
amazing,
Casamento
resigned. Dr. Card, any comment? This is a very big deal. You can tell.
These are your schools! These are your
This woman's
schools!
speech is magnificent.
James Alino, Project Veritas. We're here outside East Meadow Schools, the administration building, where people are starting to file in now for the board meeting where David Casamento, Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum. We're going to see what happens here. I'm not sure that they've seen this many people at a board meeting in quite some time, so hopefully we'll get some answers to the questions. That
was the overflow crowd.
The public would like to know where your assistant superintendent is tonight.
If one child is harmed, if one parent is harmed, if one mother, one father father, one son or daughter, anyone is harmed by any one of you, would you hold a seat and have to uphold the law? You will be held accountable. You will be held accountable. You will be held accountable. Every single seat and every single job. I see very, very good men and women out here that want to protect their sons and daughters and their legacy. They will take your seats. Because these are your schools. These are your schools. These are your schools.
In the video done by Project Veritas, he goes, you chip away, you stop their ends, you stop hiring those type of people, conservatives. You kind of got to be a little coy about that. That's slimy, that's devious, that's backhanded. Then he says, we need good people. Who are the good people? We're not good people? Conservatives aren't good people? We don't care about our kids? We care every bit about our kids. I've been a coach for 20 years. I've never had to use my sexual identity to connect with a kid. What kind of people are you hiring here?
I have never heard of Veritas before until my nephew actually sent me the video. I stood beside almost all of you years ago outside of McVeigh, supported your positions here. How helped you get here and continue to vote you in? You are all culpable. He did not do this in a silo. It is disgraceful. What he did was try to isolate and discriminate. I am not a conservative. My family that's here knows I'm not. We don't agree. You all who know me, who didn't text me today, like you do when I post on East Meadow Opt Out, you all will be picked off one by one.
Good.
You put the children first. Why? You're a parent. 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 You are not. You are. You are. If you are doing what's in the best interest of the children, this needs to turn over again, or you all need to look in the mirror.
So how was Dave Casamento when you were on the board?
Well, I questioned Dave about the rubrics that he's using because I was told by a building principal that they were uncomfortable with their hiring techniques. Quite honestly, they're the bottom line. He can say whatever he wants or do whatever he wants, but they're the ones that are allowing it to happen and pushing it through and not questioning it at all. We need to expose things like this. This needs to come out. There are too many people complacent and don't realize what's going on. People move here for the school district.
Sure.
If they only knew.
Now they do.
RJ, that's good.
Wow.
Yeah. And supposedly it's going on in all these other districts in Nassau, and I'm sure Suffolk County and Long Island, the other big county as well.
You know what? And there's something that he said there, and I know we're running out of time, but he said he's part of a group of other assistant superintendents. I think they all need to be put under the microscope at this point.
I want a list of everybody he's speaking to and everybody who's had these conversations with him, because every one of them has to go, and there's got to be a list on the front page. Well, no, I'm sorry. The newspapers here have all been, absconded by big media, so these stories won't get out in the newspaper.